Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. An absolutely great way to support the channel is by leaving a thumbs up, by leaving a like, same thing, by leaving a comment, or by subscribing if you have not already done so. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. At the moment, the cryptocurrency market looks an absolute mess. There appears to be, at the moment, additional reasons as to why the prices were collapsing. For those of you who are not up to date as to what was going on yesterday, I suggest you watch the last video that I made. There are actual 4 reasons as to why the crypto market appears to be going down, but what have you. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Bitcoin and Ether try to recover Doge nosedives. There's like an actual, like a really crazy pattern happening in the market right now where things are actually jumping, I mean like dramatically up and down. It's not a normal like down movement day or up movement day. It appears that either traders or someone behind the scenes is having an absolute field day with all the volatility that we have in the market. It says Bitcoin eyes recovery. Here's why Bitcoin could struggle near $35,000. We were very close about a couple of hours ago. Bitcoin shot up in price and then it fell back down almost immediately. Usually a very big indication of market manipulation, as we've seen before. But over the last 24 hours, there are about 5 or 6 of these mega jumps. I don't know why I keep going like this into the camera, but you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Also, we have news for those of you not looking. It says Bitcoin transfers to spot exchanges at highest level since March 2020 crash. The idea of Bitcoin being moved to exchanges is usually sometimes not really certain, and I'll tell you why it's not certain, of an indication that people may be ready to sell off their Bitcoin. The entire idea is when we have exchange outflows and people are taking their Bitcoin off of the cryptocurrency exchanges, it's because they want to secure it. It's because they want to keep it in safekeeping, yada, yada, yada. However, if prices are going down, we see sometimes Bitcoin being moved to cryptocurrency exchanges so that people can sell it whenever it hits a certain price. And I say that this is not certain simply because around 2020, maybe early 2020, maybe late 2019, we had news that in 2017 and 18, at the beginning of 2019, there were a number of very large movements of Bitcoin to cryptocurrency exchanges that actually caused people to sell off their coins, i.e., a rich person has random number, 1 million Bitcoin. And we see in this one address that they have 1 million Bitcoin and they move 700,000 Bitcoin, once again, random number, to a cryptocurrency exchange. And everyone thinks, wow, that wallet address is about to sell 700,000 Bitcoin. Let me sell my coins before they sell off their coins and therefore collapse the market. However, once again, not certain because a lot of these movements that we saw of Bitcoin to cryptocurrency exchanges were fraudulent, air quotes, if you kind of want to put it that way. People knew that they could move large amounts of Bitcoin to exchanges. Other people would sell, and then they would simply take their Bitcoin off of that exchange again, potentially assuming that they would be able to lower prices and buy up on another exchange. So nothing is ever as it actually seems in real life and also in the cryptocurrency space, simply because it's all about money at this point. Once again, we are in a market where Bitcoin could potentially one day hit $1 million. You have to expect at some point people are going to be doing anything that they can in their power to lower its price. The other really weird news that we have, Bitcoin fell on the news that inflation is real. And this is why I said it's clear that we're being manipulated. It's clear that things are being moved around in some sort of way. It says crypto sank with stocks as the Fed acknowledged inflation. Bitcoin fell 15% over the last week as the market weighs the impact of big shifts in the crypto ecosystem and broader macro environment. On Wednesday, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell acknowledged rising inflation and responded by bringing forward the timing of the next interest rate hike to 2023. This spooked stocks with crypto, and the S&P 500 and Bitcoin tumbled together for the remainder of the week. So the entire idea is that they basically acknowledge that, yes, there is inflation as a problem. And one of the main things that we keep hearing on television, and I assume this is once again all coordinated because it just doesn't make a lot of sense. A lot of the people who are acknowledging that there is a problem with inflation right now keep saying that it is going away in a couple of months. It won't be a really big problem. But a lot of the reasons why the stock market was pushed back up, at least the news that we got last year, was because of the enormous printing from governments around the world. Either this money was being used, which it was, by the government to prop up the stock market to make it seem like things were okay, or simply because people were looking for a new avenue to be able to put their money into as their dollars were inflating, therefore get out of the dollars, get into another asset class. However, Bitcoin is meant to be a champion against inflation. On the news that the US dollar is definitely inflating and is going to be bad for at least the next 2 to 3 years, you would assume that our prices would go up, and this is why I said, and it's really difficult, and I'm sure you get tired of hearing me say it. I'm also tired of saying it myself, but this is some next level manipulation that we actually have going on right here, because none of this makes any type of sense. We know that the US dollar, me and you knew last year that the US dollar was having tons of problems, and the people who are printing the US dollar openly coming out and saying, yes, we messed up, and then Bitcoin's price tumbling doesn't make a lot of sense, especially in the wake of any other news that we've actually been receiving. On top of that as well, I think it's just playing both sides, if you will. There are a lot of articles talking about that the cryptocurrency market looks like it could also be poised for a major jump up. There were indications last week that we were in oversold territory, i.e. Bitcoin had been sold too much and therefore it was oversold. And therefore, usually when we are oversold, there are charts and graphs for that. I don't have any on the screen. This is usually an indication that the largest whales will go, okay, let's shift the market once again, and then we end up moving back up. It says analysts claim Bitcoin is headed into a short squeeze, suggesting another price spike. This was all over the place. There are a lot of these. The guy Plan B is also still quite adamant. There are a lot of discussions and talks and things going on right now as to if we are in a bear market. I see a lot of people in the comment section saying, yeah, we're in a bear market. This happened once again in 2017 as well. There was a situation, it was in the summertime where prices fell and everyone was like, well, we had a good run. And then by the time we got to July, August, September, prices really began to move back up once again. And I think, just complete honesty, no one knows where this market is going. Not one single person. I think I think we can have a bit of a strong indication as to where markets are going to be moving, but the accumulation by governments, definitely governments, by institutions, by companies, family offices, etc., is still continuing. They have not stopped. And when you look at the information that we get from them, they're all still completely bullish on it. None of them have said, oh, this is bad. I'm seeing mainly people from my comment section. I'm sure others as well. And a lot of other random articles like bear market ? When no one actually knows what's going on. But at the same exact time, this is from the guy Plan B. He said Bitcoin's price can hit $450,000 this year. $135,000 is the worst case scenario. So I think the main takeaway that we will get from all of this is by the end of this year, we will have concrete proof if Plan B's charts and graphs are correct. I think the lowest that I've seen, analysts say that Bitcoin will hit by the end of this year is 120,000. Once again, I'm shrugging if you're not looking at me simply because no one knows. However, if by December we have a $135,001 Bitcoin, I think people will take his chart even a lot more seriously than they currently do. But at the moment, I know that things look a bit grim. It says crypto analyst predicts that Ethereum breaks above 10,000 in the second half. All these people are hyper bullish on it. Like, especially, I was discussing with my friend the current upgrade for Ethereum, and I'll kind of share this with you as well. If by the end of the summer, Ethereum's next upgrade to be deflationary, once again, I'm pretty sure Ethereum is the most used blockchain. Like Bitcoin is the big daddy coin and has all the money, yada, yada, yada. But as far as like transactions that are happening back and forth, it's Ethereum because of all the things that are built on top of it. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of things. If we get indication that this upgrade has gone through, Ethereum becomes deflationary. And about a month and a half after, if Ethereum's price is continuing to drop, then we are definitely in some type of a bear market, because that's just it wouldn't make sense otherwise that the second most valuable digital asset on the planet is burning coins every single transaction and then continues falling in value. So anyway, that's all the price news that's floating around. Kind of the nay and the yay, people saying, the prices are going down, where are we headed? And also people saying that by the end of this year, we are going to have the movement up. I'm still bullish. There's not usually a point where I'm not bullish, even if it is like long-term bullish. Nothing really deters me in the cryptocurrency market, especially because I'll of course show you the other news that's floating around. But at the moment, that's all the price stuff. And without further ado, let's move on. Of course, because we knew this was going to happen, Microstrategy has announced that it has acquired 13,005 additional Bitcoin for approximately $489 million in cash at an average price of $37,000 per Bitcoin. The company, headed by Michael Saylor, now has 105,085 Bitcoin, acquired at an average purchase price of $2.7 billion, averaging $26,000 spent per Bitcoin. We heard last week, it wasn't more than 10 days ago, that MicroStrategy was trying to raise money in debt purpose, something senior bond notes, whatever, convertible, to raise, I think, $400 million to be able to buy Bitcoin. I think they had $600 million in interest or something like that. I forgot the exact number. So the news is that they purchased 13,000 Bitcoin, I assume yesterday, because this news just actually happened. And the other news that we got from them before was that they were planning on selling, I think, $1 billion worth of stock. We went over that together in the video. We saw the filing with the SEC for MicroStrategy to be able to sell $1 billion worth of their stock. And the $1 billion they plan on getting from that stock, they will be also using to buy Bitcoin. They officially now have over 100,000 Bitcoin. This is completely insane. I think people will only understand the significance of this in the future when Bitcoin is hyper scarce and everyone is struggling to get 1/100th of a Bitcoin. But this is the most popular news of the day. MicroStrategy buys another $489 million worth of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy again buys 400 Bitcoin. MicroStrategy takes Bitcoin, and MicroStrategy buys $489 million worth of Bitcoin. Company now holds more than 100,000 BTC. I only have 5 tabs. Didn't feel like having any more. This is huge. This is major. Once again, the news that we continuously get happens to be from mega large companies who announce these things out loud. A lot of times you can have subsidiaries, you can have other companies and shell companies and other millions of different things that are actually holding the Bitcoin for you. A lot of people seem to have a really strong misunderstanding that every single time, or rather that we aren't hearing from more companies doing this simply because they are public. I.e., I have a friend. I know he doesn't watch my videos, so I don't care. He had a discussion with me that he thinks it is only MicroStrategy and Grayscale who are buying up Bitcoin. And I'm like, other companies don't have to explicitly say these things out loud, or it can run through another company or can run through something else. Like if they're not public, they're not explicitly allowed to, made to, whatever, have to announce how much Bitcoin they hold. So anyway, this is huge. I wish more people saw the impact of this, especially in our market. But I understand it's a very weird time just in general. We've all been here the last, 18 months have not been normal for anyone at any given point. It's all been very weird. People have been trying to figure out other ways to make really good money. When stocks fall, people ran into crypto. When crypto falls, people are looking into real estate. When real estate doesn't look like it's going to be potentially doing that well, people move into another asset class. So I think there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of confusion. There are a lot of very new people who got into our market over the last year or so who, trying to say this nicely, have no idea what they're doing. They don't understand what Bitcoin is. They don't understand what the cryptocurrency space actually means. For them, this is just another really weird, wacky asset class that they heard from and they got into because of Dogecoin and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, that's the MicroStrategy news. This is going to have a huge impact on the amount of circulating Bitcoin because, 100,000 is owned by just one company. And keeping in mind also, that's the company. I'm going to assume that Michael Saylor, this guy right here, probably also holds a significant amount of Bitcoin as well because, logic. Anyway, that's the MicroStrategy news, and let's move on. Now, this is where it actually gets really good, and I'm going to explain why this is good. And probably, if we're lucky, in about a good 2 years' time, this will never be a discussion again. Ever. Earlier today, a logistics firm confirmed to CNBC that it was airlifting 3,000 kilograms of Bitcoin mining machines to Maryland, that is in the USA. The firm, which is located in China, I think it's Guangzhou, sorry, is a logistics company that offers international shipping to door delivery. The news comes in the wake of the China crackdown on Bitcoin mining in the country, with mining farms in entire regions being shut down. Laws are being put in place to prevent new mining machines from being implemented. There has been a lot of speculation as to where the mining facilities would be moved to. Now it seems that the United States is the next destination for Bitcoin mining. The Chinese government said the reason for the shutdowns was due to the energy consumption of the farms, a lie, with Bitcoin alleged to use more power per year than the country of Netherlands for mining. No. Countries do not actually care about the environment. I don't know if that's a revelation for you. I don't know if that is something that you, oh my gosh, what? No, they actually do not care. Bitcoin is being used as a scapegoat for governments to be able to implement their central bank digital currencies. How many times per day? I don't even have it in this video because there are many other pressing things. But there were 3 other countries that came out in the last 24 hours who also announced that they are going to be pushing forth their central bank digital currency. We are currently at the point where we had the conversation yesterday. Governments are actually scared of Bitcoin. And I know that may seem weird and or wacky, but this is exactly where we are. If Bitcoin continues to, and it will be, implemented across every single banking sector, and the idea was, if Bitcoin fell in price, it would obliterate the economy, kind of whatever. That's the kind of thing that they keep on saying. We are currently at the point where they are desperate to make their own central bank digital currencies. One, because China already has theirs and they're trying to implement it. And the idea is, if you have not been looking around, and you definitely should, without a doubt, be doing so, the entire idea for China's central bank digital currency is that it would be nearly borderless. While it will be available on your phone and so, and it is from them, the idea is it would not just be people in that country who would have access to it. If there were any other apps or things you were using on your computer that were from said country, you'd also be able to transact in that as well. What happens when people start transacting in the digital yuan as opposed to the normal dollar? Then the digital dollar has to be put in place, yada, yada, yada. So it's not that Bitcoin uses tons of electricity, even if it does use as much as the Netherlands, sure, why not? This is being used as a falsified reason, saying, oh yeah, now, this one moment, we actually care about the environment, so let's make sure that this goes away. The silver, and dare I even say golden lining, has been for a very long time that a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space have said that something like this could take place, would take place, or at some point, should the government have had a problem with Bitcoin, they could have simply gone and go, okay, it's banned. However, this will not happen in the United States. If you have never been to the States, if you've never lived in the States, I'll give you a good 5 years. 5 years is a pretty good time to understand how the country actually works. It is abundantly clear, I would say this, that nearly every politician, nearly everyone in Congress, maybe a lot in the Senate, and other people are definitely either into Bitcoin futures, the cryptocurrency space, DeFi, or they have some type of a stake and or interest in the mining space. And if you are not from the States, you're sucking your teeth right now going, that's not true. Oh no. There's nothing that can compete against the US dollar, except if people within the country allow something else to compete against the US dollar. So just understand that as we actually move forward. The golden lining being, if everyone right now is being shut down in China, our hash rate has also dropped because people are being told to unplug their machines. And these people put it into a suitcase. 3,000 kilograms being airlifted to the United States. Well, that conversation of China having control over the majority of the hashing power or being able to tell people to unplug their computers no longer becomes a thing. I didn't have the news. We had news last week that this was the beginning of them saying, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that, blah, 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 blah. We had news that other companies, and I didn't have it in the video, were actually moving their mining equipment to neighboring countries, or were trying to move to Iceland or many other countries. So this has been a conversation since 2016. China has too much control over the mining hash power. What will we do? What will happen? What could potentially take place that would cause harm to the hash rate? What they did. And I think it's also one of the main reasons, once again, why I think prices are dropping. However, this is actually great news, because while we may temporarily shrug, be in a position where the market is dropping because of this whole fiasco that's going on. Once these machines are in Nova Scotia and in, I was going to say Antarctica, wherever the cold places there are, and or the United States, the entire idea of Bitcoin, once again, being controlled by one country disappears. And I promise you, even if America had 87% of the majority of the hash power, it would no longer be a discussion. We all know why. And then the other part simply being that we can also then have that mega shift, like Misker. This is all set up. I mean, how obvious can this actually be? Here's exactly what's going to happen. About 3 months' time, we're going to have indications that China's majority over the hash rate has completely collapsed. They no longer have the majority. We'll have brand new, fancy, beautiful maps of where all these people have moved their mining equipment to. And we're going to see all these places lighting up in the United States. And everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, now we can breathe a sigh of relief. And then at some point, we're going to hear that the movement of all these machines, they actually moved to places in Texas and places in so-and-so where they can use green energy. Tesla's then going to re-announce that they're going to be allowing Bitcoin once again as a payment option. Why? Because all of these machines have moved to America and therefore they're using greener energy than they would be using before. Because I think the discussion is that China uses coal and then Bitcoin's price will rise once again. Doesn't this all fit too nicely together all the time for everyone? No? Every single video, it's always like this. The discussion was a couple of weeks ago, Bitcoin's using way too much bad electricity. They get shut down. All these people are moving to America. We had news, what was it, last week from Elon Musk, who was like, oh, you know what? If we actually get over 50% green energy, Tesla will re-allow Bitcoin. None of this is lining up for anyone? Really? Not even you? All right. Well, anyway, that's the that news. I'm telling you, what is it? June? Let's say July, August, September. By September, if Tesla reannounces this will be... Anyway, that's that news. I'm sure our prices will recover relatively soon just because this isn't going to be an issue anymore for anyone. Let's move on. Also, in pretty good news, according to a statement issued by the Portuguese Central Bank on its official website, 2 crypto exchanges have been listed as virtual asset service providers. The license allows them to handle transactions relating to digital assets and fiat as well as between digital assets. The news being, first of all, Portugal is kind of a cryptocurrency hub for those of you who did not know that. They've been into crypto for a while. They have I'm pretty sure a 0% tax rate if you are a resident of Portugal. I made a video of that on the other channel. And at the same exact time, the news being is that they're licensing crypto exchanges. They're giving them licenses to say, hey, you can be a money provider. You can be a money transfer service. And the idea is that they're not banning them. We never have banning news anymore in the cryptocurrency space, which is very nice. We always just have like a regulation kind of news. Like there's further regulations on this, there's further regulations on that. It's not that it's not a bad thing. Regulations are just more of they're going to happen. We can't get around them. At least they're favorable to us in this sort of way. So without having to even read any further, this is nice. We knew that they weren't going to ban Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, but it's that they're giving them licenses and now, therefore, they are able to do so legally in the country. And here's the actual thing on their website from the Bank of Portugal in English. It says registration of virtual asset service providers. Wonderful. Let's move on. And to finish things off, Hester Peirce, the commissioner of the US SEC, is hinting that new crypto regulations may be around the corner. It's not as bad as it sounds, I promise you. In an interview with Bloomberg, Peirce named 3 main aspects of the crypto space that she hopes to tackle very soon. She says, I hope that we can provide clarity in a few different areas. One would be, I've put out token safe harbor to give some clarity around token distribution events. The idea is that the government has a bit of an issue with coin drops, airdrops for many cryptocurrencies, and therefore people have been wondering, how are we going to be taxed on these things? Are these things even legal? And therefore, yada, yada. She said, I wanted to approve an exchange traded product, otherwise sometimes known as an ETN or an ETF. based on Bitcoin. And frankly, we've gotten new applications based on Ethereum as well. It is well beyond time for the United States to allow a Bitcoin ETN, ETP, or ETF within their borders. Everyone else is doing it. And Hester Pierce seems to be the only one with half of a brain who understands that this needs to be done. She said, and then we need to provide clarity around custody for regulated entities. So for broker dealers and investment advisors, those are some of the areas I'd like to take action. And the entire idea around that is a lot of companies would like to become pseudo banks, cryptocurrency banks, and or even family offices being able to custody cryptocurrencies, but they don't know how to do it. If they're legally able to do so, what steps they have to take. It's not as simple as a family owns 23,000 Bitcoin and they hand it to their advisor and go, here, you take, and they go, okay, I put on computer. No, it's not like that. You have to figure out exactly what the steps are, what companies you can use, where the coins can be held. Do you hold them on 10 different machines around the world? Like, what exactly is the safest way to keep these things? Because you are, as an advisor, you're partially in control of their assets and where their money actually goes. And if you lose around like $4 billion, the family's probably not going to be too happy with you. So Hester Pierce has been probably one of the best people in the SEC. It's a shame that her voice doesn't have more strength to it. And I mean, like, just in her words, I feel like if she was the only person in the SEC, we'd be in a very different space within the United States for cryptocurrency regulations. But alas, that's not how things work. So once again, it's not that it's not that I'm for regulations. It's more like in certain areas, in order to keep the gear and the machine moving, we need them. If family offices want to know how to hold these things, well, we need custody rules. If these mega companies want to start trading ETFs for Bitcoin, well, we need an ETF. And yeah. So anyway, that's all the news. Nothing too crazy. Like, you know, this is why I sit there looking at the market sometimes and I'm like, it's kind of weird that our market collapses off of, like, almost made a really weird joke, but it's not that. Anyway, it's weird that our market collapses off of very odd news. Like, of course, I understand the significance of the China mining news, but it's also like, you know, there are other really good things actually happening within this space, and we still have people buying up enormous amounts of Bitcoin. But we'll get there one day. I'm telling you, we will have actual whatchamajaggers. We will have actual logic in this market. If it's the last thing I look at, it doesn't make any sense at the moment. Or rather, thank you to my Patreon supporters. I'm a little tired. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Roman Geba, Bitcoin, Ben, Arachno Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Red Plum Tomato, Umnu, Wishnicki, The Letter M, Stephen Dirks, Not Brain, Captain Something in the Z-Way Lay, Crypto Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedy 655, and Carlos was like, Mobarazi, Jojo Shaw Show, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grole, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Barebones Mining, Troy, All Good, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Pat Ternoster, Conan Oskip, Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolik Banana, Auspicious Agile, and Blockchain, Navara Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Steuer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Anima Reader, Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohamaroni, Massive Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Damien Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, Hitch Test Every Day, and Calskips Leg Day. Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Mouse Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigara, Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to all the new Patreon members. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who left a like, left a comment, left a subscribe. Yeah, okay. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently at $31,651 US dollars. It is down by 1.49%. You see these movements? These are not normal movements. These are calculated. These are manipulations in our market where people are trying to get the most out of the movements. If you have never day traded, this is it. These movements right here are gold. They're actually worth more than gold. And you think I'm joking? No. When you have, especially in 2017, it was even crazier. You would have like hourly, like 3% movements back and forth, trading on 3% every single hour, even if you're just trading for like 8 hours through the course of the day, an enormous amount of money to be made. So this is what I assume is happening right now. Bitcoin is not doing terrible. Altcoins, however, have taken a very strong hit, i.e., for those of you not looking, Bitcoin is down by 1.5%. Ethereum is down by 4. Binance coin is down by 13. Doge is down by 25, just as an example. Even before I started this video, I was around here. Bitcoin was just moving back up. It was green for a couple of seconds and then kind of went back down. So traders going to trade. I do hope that you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Once again, not financial advice, but to all the people out there who kept on saying, I'm waiting for a dip. If you look at the screen, there's your dip. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.